It's the Morning Cruise. Dave, Bill, and Carmen here at the Joy FM.
We have one of our favorites with us this week. Louie, we love you, Louie.
I'm on with my favorites.
We just love to sit down with you and we just like to sit and just listen and take in everything that you have to share. And this book is so special, your new book, Not Forsaken. We talked a little bit earlier about a young man who reached out to you, and he obviously had some hurts with his dad and said, is it worth it? And I had someone, I'd posted about your book too, had a woman ask me, is this good for someone who had wounds early on in their childhood? And I really want to encourage people to read this book, because the analogy that you give in the book with your broken bone, do not go into that in detail. I will tell you, that is one time in the book I got squeamish.
Oh, man.
But man, just talk about that, why it is worth it to heal properly.
Well, I didn't respond to that young man simply because it was a social media platform, and that's not the best way to have those conversations. But if I could answer him, I would have said to him in a very, very loving way, do you have a choice? And the same to the person who reached out to you, who says, is this worth digging this up again, opening this door, going back to this place? And I would say, I don't think you have a choice. We are, trapped into these emotions and feelings and experiences, and you can't get out of them by just ignoring them. And I think healing is a very, very powerful but painful process. And I did talk in the book about breaking my leg when I was 11, and eventually ending up just down the street here at Piedmont Hospital with Dr. James Funk. And he comes in once it's discovered by the x-ray that the bone is snapped in half right below my kneecap, that he's going to need to set the bone. And I've already broken my leg. That hurt. Snapped into like a broom handle. I mean, I wasn't bigger than a mop anyway to start with.
He totally ignored me when I said don't go into detail.
And now I've had my leg all positioned on an x-ray table, and that was painful. My mom tried to make me walk on it before we left the house. That didn't feel great either. And now a lady has come in and put a needle the size of a knitting needle in my shin to deaden it before Dr. Funk comes in to set it. So I think I've been through all the pain I can go through. But oh boy, I hadn't been through anything yet. Oh my goodness, this nurse grabs me and holds me down, and he grabs my leg, and oh man, I'm screaming bloody murder. My dad is smoking in the emergency room.
That's
Those were the days.
It was back in the 60s, so that was a whole nother era. But in the middle of setting my leg, Dr. Funk looks at my dad and says, "You can't smoke in here." And just excruciating pain. And then I've got 40 pounds of plaster on my leg from my toe to my hip for the entire summer. Was it all worth it? Yeah. Yeah, I can walk on my leg. Did I limp for a while? Got that cast sawed off, and our family vacation was to guess where? Longboat Key. Guess what the beach is like in Longboat Key? Crushed seashells. It's like walking literally on broken glass. And I have a foot that has been in plaster for 3 months. And if you even touched it with a feather, it would be like, ah! And here we all are at the beach, and I'm turning my foot every time I walk because of that rubber stopper on the bottom of the cast, and I can't even put my foot down on the beach on family vacation. But was it worth it? Absolutely. And so to anyone out there, let God come in. Let him come into the pain with his pain. Jesus took our blows, and he was gashed for us. So we're not the only ones with wounds in this story. Our Savior has got scars, even to this day. And so we go to the power of his wound, and we bring that power into our wound. We never get healed by fixating on our wounds. We only get healed when we fixate on Jesus' wounds for us. And in his wounds is power, and his wounds is forgiveness, and his wounds is the ability that we need to know that we're the loved sons and daughters of God, and that's the starting place for all of us. And so go there with him, and go as slowly as you need to, because he is a patient God. But you've got to uncover, and you've got to let him get down into the heart of it all so that he can bring you back to walk again. And that is possible, and it is God's plan for everyone listening to us today that they would walk in the power of the blessing of a perfect Father.